Greetings and skeletations, my new ghoul friends. I'm Niomi Dylan Sass, resident podcaster here at UIC Radio, and I'm taking you along with me to visit something grave today. This is where hauntings feel like hellos. Welcome to season 2 of a podcast where we go over everything in the horror genre, from movies to mythologies and mysteries. This is She's in the Crypt. Along with us on this week's frightful journey, a willful warrior who hath traversed through a perilous journey in purgatory's treacherous realm, an actor collected from the Crypt, Simon Koszalka. We're going to be digging up Shakespeare's first tragedy, Macbeth, to witness the bloody rise to power and the tragic downfall of a Scottish general, gaslit and manipulated by 3 witches, known as the Weird Sisters. This play was, of course, written by William Shakespeare around 1606 and made its way to the stage by 1623. We'll be exploring the theme of how supernatural beings are able to exert their will through the control of others. Or were the witches already telling Macbeth something he knew deep down? There will be a trigger warning at the beginning of each of my episodes. Just in case today's dark discussion isn't your preferred potion, I'm going to be talking about the murder of women and children and suicide. So ghoul, I get it if you can't listen to that right now. Just leave us a like on your way out and be sure to tune in next week for a different dark discussion. After this quick break, I'll be back with Simon Koszalka, and this is the guy who plays Malcom in the upcoming UIC production of The Tragedy of Macbeth. So, together we'll do some grave digging into one of my favorite playwrights and how his work still stands to the test of time, staying relevant to tropes of power being turned into corruption because of personal motives. I'll be rolling in my grave with excitement while you listen to this quick message from Beyond. I have been waiting specifically for this episode to use this spell. You ready? Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burns and cauldron bubbles. Round about the cauldron go. In the poisoned entrails throw. Toad that's under cold stone. Days and nights has 31. Sweltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot. Nothing? Well, my way it is. This is She's Summoning. Everyone, please welcome to the studio, Simon.
Hello,
Hey. How was purgatory?
Oh, it was very pleasant. A little warm, a little cold, but at the end of the day, some lovely people to talk to. Mostly
Awesome.
unchristened babies, but oh well.
Those are my favorite to talk to usually when I'm down there.
Yeah. They have so many stories. They'll just sit there with a cigarette and go, back in my day, they didn't christen babies. We just got dumped in the water and that was it.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else.
Oh, no.
No worries. So, to those who may not know you, what is your major and how did you choose it?
Oh, God. So, I am a BFA acting major. The 2021, the year of COVID.
Right.
My best friend and I, we decided that, you know what? Let's make an audio drama series because we are both Doctor Who fans, and somehow along the way I decided, you know what, I want to do this professionally. Also, that's when I started liking Shakespeare, and before that I was like, Shakespeare, please.
Right. I was like, who is this man? Why do we care about dead people? And then I'm like, you know what? He was onto something.
Yeah, and you know, since then I've consigned myself to the acting profession. And, you know, I've been in 20 productions altogether.
Nice.
Yeah, some shameless promotion right there. And, you know, I've enjoyed it. It's very therapeutic for me. So, hey.
Honestly, same.
UIC's giving it all. So.
It really is. And the theater department here is pretty cool. I think we have a lot of instructors who are really in the Chicago theater realm. So we're lucky about that.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, the catchphrase of the theater building is, come with us, you'll get a job. So, like, hey.
I'm going to hold them to that.
Me too.
I'm going to hold them to that.
If it doesn't happen, I'm going to ask for my
Yeah,
tuition back.
full refund. So, what draws you to the horror genre? What connection do you have to it?
Oh. So my connection to the horror genre is, well, let's get it out there. I'm not a fan of horror today.
That's fine.
But I love the Hammer horror films.
There you go.
Especially the Dracula series with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. My God, they inverted the story of Dracula and made it into this, well, it's less action thriller, but more of a way of going, we're going to give you some drama with some gory blood. And, hey, it's Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. You can't ask for a better duo in the 50s and 60s.
Right. I kind of feel like they have like a good, not them specifically, but there's like a show called Salem where they, it's not really horror, but is like a type of anthology where they like heighten it. And it is very much like, ooh, okay, that's a little scary.
I think my first foray into horror, well, it was Scooby-Doo.
No, that's my favorite.
Kind of horror. But by the time I was 16, I started watching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix.
I love that show too.
And
I was a fan of the original one. That used to be. That used to be like kind of one of my Halloween traditions because I would that would just be like background noise. I could just watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch just for the month of Halloween.
And also because I love everything audio related, a lot of horror stories that I've listened to are either audiobooks and audio dramas, and just the creepiness of it. It's so much better than the visual aspects, in my opinion.
I totally agree. I am actually writing an audio drama right now, a horror audio drama. So this is the concept of it. I'm really like spring break is when I'm locking the hell in, and I'm gonna like get this written down, the first act. So this is my plan. The end of this season, so the last episode of the semester is going to be Act 1. I want to have like an actors reader for Act 1, and then the first episode of next season is going to be Act 2, so that'll have like that.
If you need an audio editor or a producer, come to me.
So then this is the plan. So it's called Past the Static.
Yeah.
It is a survival zombie apocalypse. Somebody finally gets to a radio station and they're able to get like a radio working, and it starts with them finally getting the radio working. So they're flipping through the channels, trying to find other survivors, you know, kind of saying their story out loud to anybody who might be listening. And then they'll come across survivors and their stories. And then there's going to be somebody who's like, oh, yeah, like we got a safe place over here. You need to come over here. But will it be a safe place when he gets there? We shall see.
It's giving Orson Welles' War of the Worlds broadcast from 1938.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because the way they did it, and it's also,
but that's Aliens, right?
Yeah, that's Aliens. Still horror, though, because
right.
They made the broadcast, and they did it in the style of a radio announcer saying, New York is being under attack. The Martians are invading. And the radio station, CBS, got so many...
Like calls?
Phone calls with people worried like, oh my God, we're being invaded by aliens. God, help.
Yeah,
and
that's definitely one of the like reoccurring roles is like anytime you flip through a channel, it'll be like, yeah, we're to hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. So are you ready for the next segment, Simon?
Of course.
All right, this is Dark Discussions. Shh. So, the story of Macbeth begins in a storm where three witches meet and say they'll come together again after the battle to find Macbeth. They speak in this strange, unsettling way, basically suggesting that nothing is as it seems. Good can be bad, and bad can be good. What is the line? Foul is fair, and fair is foul?
All is foul, and foul is fair.
Yep, that one. So, then, King Duncan hears about Macbeth's bravery in battle, how he defeated both rebels and invading forces, and decides to reward him by giving the title of Thane of Cawdor. After that, Macbeth and his friend Banquo run into the witches. The witches greet Macbeth the three titles: Thane of Glamis, Thane of Cawdor, and future king. Macbeth is confused at first, but then he finds out he really has been named Thane of Cawdor, which makes the prophecy feel even more real. The witches also tell Banquo that he won't be king, but his descendants will be. This gets Macbeth thinking. He's intrigued by the idea of becoming king, even though it unsettles him. So soon after, Duncan announces that his son Malcom will be heir to the throne, which creates a problem for Macbeth, since now there's someone directly in his way of this path. Macbeth writes a letter to Lady Macbeth telling her everything about the prophecy. When she reads it, she immediately starts thinking about how to make it happen. She's worried that Macbeth is too kind and moral to take actually the crown by force. Then Duncan comes to visit their castle. Lady Macbeth acts welcoming and kind. Secretly, she's planning to have him killed. Meanwhile, Macbeth is going back and forth in his mind. He knows murdering Duncan is wrong. Duncan is the king and his guest, but at the same time, he really wants the crown. When Lady Macbeth sees him hesitating, she pushes him hard. She questions his courage and basically challenges his manhood until he gives in. By the end, Macbeth finally agrees. They're going to murder Duncan that very night. So, Simon, in Act 1, who do you think is really in charge here? Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, or Duncan?
Well, considering that most of Shakespeare's plays play around with fate and human choice, I would say that Macbeth is much more in control. It's just he thinks that the witches might be the ones controlling him because suddenly he's getting these dark thoughts and everything else. But but if you read the play and watch it, you see that he's already planning something.
Right.
The moment he's announced as Thane of Glamis, because at first he's a noble soldier, he's a good guy, and suddenly these three witches nudge him in the direction that he can choose to leave. Like, oh, we're going to get this prophecy and that prophecy. I mean, Banquo, yeah, he gets his prophecy.
Right.
But he ignores it most of the time.
Right. He's like, these. I don't know, who are these people?
And the moment that Ross and Angus announce Macbeth as, you are now the Thane of Cawdor, he goes like, oh, shoot. Fine. Okay, then drops off into his little monologue where you literally see, okay, this man is planning something. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. And I mean, thanks to our lovely dramaturg, Charlie
He's actually a UIC radio member. You guys should go check out his DJ show. You can find the information on the UIC radio website. Yeah.
We found out that the way that kingship passed down in Scotland was from cousin to cousin. So, de facto, because of Macbeth's success, he would have been the likely candidate to become king.
Right.
And suddenly there's a twist. Suddenly the eldest, Malcolm, is becoming the heir to the throne. And you're thinking, okay, what the hell? So that might have been what...
He's just a boy.
Yeah. And suddenly that's probably what really propels Macbeth to become this, well, I say murderous fiend. He starts planning it, but he's still doubtful.
Right, I
about
have two nicknames for Macbeth for his story arc. In the beginning of the show, I always call him like Mac Daddy, and then at the end of the show, it's always Macdeath.
Very apt, very apt.
So going off of that question, so do you think the witches are villains, or do you think they're just like stirring the pot?
Oh, they're definitely stirring the pot, especially because when you read Macbeth, you also see Hecate, or as some other pronounce it, Hecate.
I can pronounce it Hecate.
Yeah.
I don't know why people pronounce it Hecate. But
it's a British thing at this point.
Oh, okay. I'm so mad they kind of cut that scene. Embarrassing story. Because I got Angus. Angus is a smaller role, whatever. I'm cool with that.
There is no small role.
No. Right. I just meant like there's more room for like a double casting.
Yeah.
So I had like reached out to Yasen. I was like, hey, I don't know if you cast anyone for Hecate yet, but I really think I could do a good job at that role. My character's not in any of those scenes. Blah 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 blah. And then I was telling my friend, and they were like, oh, when we did Macbeth, they cut that role. And I was like, wait, did they cut that scene? So I checked like the cut script, and I was like, oh, fuck, they cut that scene. I was like, now I look stupid.
Yeah, no, it's sad because, well, just to get back to our question, Hecate and most of the Greek gods love to intervene in human affairs.
Right, they're bored.
And yeah, very much so. I mean, if we look at Zeus's track history, there's no more There's no more of a bored god than he is.
Right.
Not more. No more. Good God. Anyway. And I don't think they're villains. They're just propellers of fate. They're the catalyst that starts off this horrible chain of events that follows throughout the whole play. And, well, the way that it's done in our production is that they're manipulating fate so that it actually works out. But at the end of the day, if you listen to the monologues and fully understand them, you realize that Macbeth has always been a little cuckoo. And especially in that banquet scene.
They're kind of just like a crystal ball in a way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're not pulling the strings in a way as much as they are kind of just showing what's already going to happen.
And because there's three of them, I always find them to be like a Shakespearean version of the Fates from Greek mythology, because they also intervene occasionally, but really they just pull the strings for fate to go as it is directed.
Right, like it was already set in stone. They're just making sure that it is going in that path.
And you see, Macbeth could have chosen to just, okay, I'm a Thane of Cawdor. Thank you for this honor. Maybe Malcolm won't have kids, and therefore I will become king. But no. He goes off on a tangent of death, murder, yes.
Right, like maybe like in an alternate world, he could have just planned to make you like impotent, so then you didn't have kids, right?
I mean, we can guess that Malcolm is impotent because, well, we know from the prophecies of the witch that Banquo's children shall become kings.
Right.
And there's no mention of what happens to Malcolm. Malcolm's just there.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think the last question for this one, do you think Lady Macbeth is helping Macbeth or ruining him? Like as a partner, are you the kind, because this is totally like two different just two different perspectives. Some people want like the ride or die partner where they're like, okay, if I'm down to kill somebody, you better be down to kill somebody too. Or most people want the kind of like the yin to their yang, and they're like, you know what, let me talk you down off this ledge.
Yeah, honestly, well, one thing is that they love each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Very much. It's passionate.
Yeah.
And they're always with one another. They confide in each other. So I don't think she's necessarily ruining him. She's just doing what she's always been doing.
Right.
Which is, hey, you're my husband, I'm your wife, we're equal partners in this. Because
she's a ride or die.
Notice that this is one of the few plays of Shakespeare where there's not a lot of sexism.
Yeah, honestly, there is. Most of the things, women are just objects in like
Portia, Juliet,
the Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, good God!
Just the whole play of that.
Yeah, and also Henry V, the French princess. My God, but she's very much his equal. She has a commanding presence, a much more commanding presence than Macbeth in many ways, and she's much more of a logical thinker. She knows where she's heading, she knows what she wants, when she wants it, and how to achieve it. She doesn't manipulate or coerce him into, okay, you gotta kill Duncan now.
Right.
She thinks he's already gonna do that, especially the way he wrote his letter.
Right.
So she's just reasserting the idea that he brought. She's supporting him in it.
So she's the ride or die.
Yeah. And she's making sure that her husband doesn't get into his head that much, because even during the banquet scene, we get a little glimpse of their relationship that he, she says that he's afflicted by these things in his mind as seeing visions, but you can't really make that up on the spot, which means he might have dealt with something.
Schizophrenia, bipolar.
Possibly.
He's a warrior, right? So it's like the same thing of military people. They often come back from war with those kind of like
with PTSD. And and the sad thing is that they really don't receive a lot of help. Sure, the government will give them a little bit of it, but at the end of the day, they're on their own.
Right, and they're the ones that put their life on the line.
But also, this offers a lovely look into, inward look into what Shakespeare is doing, because his work is so up to interpretation that you can either choose to play on the aspect of the politics of Macbeth or just the pure-on carnage of fate and mysticism.
Right.
that just permeates through the whole thing. And it's beautiful. I love this play.
Me too. I love Shakespeare, period.
Who wouldn't? Except for Romeo and Juliet. That thing was utter puerile crap.
Yeah, I don't think there was they were a little dramatic. Like that one took that's the sense. Like I mean, they're teenagers, but like
teenagers who met each other for 3 days and are
Right.
suddenly in love. If
they
that's,
met on nowadays they would have met on TikTok Live, and then
yeah, or Instagram DMs.
Exactly.
Hey girl, you're beautiful. I know our parents don't agree with one another,
Right.
but I think I'm in
they're
love
like,
with
I know
you.
you're a Democrat, and I know I'm a Republican, but I swear we can make this work.
Yeah, no, dude.
That's literally what it would mean.
Yeah, and Yasen said that Macbeth is basically the Scottish version of what if Romeo and Juliet didn't kill one another.
Oh, I see it.
And you see, it kind of works, except that Lady Macbeth is a much more well-rounded character than Juliet. Because Juliet, yeah, she has some, independence, and then she falls in love with Romeo, and all of that goes away. If that's not a delusional honeymoon phase, I don't know what is.
Exactly. So, on to Act 2. The first one we just did was Act 1, everybody. So if anybody ever has a hard time reading Shakespeare, you are in luck for this podcast. You're going to get the whole story, okay? So this is the point where everything really falls apart. This is when Duncan is murdered. It starts late at night with Banquo and his son Fleance talking about the witches and their strange predictions. You can tell Banquo is uneasy about it, like something doesn't feel right. Then they leave, and Macbeth is alone. That's when Macbeth sees this hallucination, a floating dagger in front of him, pointing toward Duncan's chamber. It's not real, but it feels real to him, and it shows how anxious and obsessed he's becoming. Instead of stopping, though, he follows it. Offstage, Macbeth kills Duncan. When he comes back, he's completely shaken. He's panicking and says he heard voices telling him he'll never sleep again. Like his guilt is already taking over. Lady Macbeth, on the other hand, stays calm. She takes control of the situation, grabs the bloody daggers from Macbeth, and goes back to Duncan's room to place them on the guards so it looks like they committed the murder. Right after that, there's a brief moment of comic relief with the drunken porter answering the door, which kind of breaks the tension for a second. Then Macduff arrives, and he's the one who discovers Duncan's body. The moment he realizes what happens, everything turns chaotic. Macbeth kills the guards, claiming he did it out of anger when he saw what they had done to Duncan, but it also conveniently silences them before they can defend themselves. Duncan's sons, Malcom and Donalbain, panic and run away because they're afraid they'll be next. However, their escape makes them look a little guilty to everyone else. But in the end, Macbeth is named the new king and goes off to be crowned. But even though he's gained the throne, suspicion is already starting to build around him. So, who is more responsible for Duncan's murder? Macbeth or Lady Macbeth? Or is this an equal opportunist?
Ooh, I'd say it's an equal opportunist. There we go. Here's the thing. He's the one that carries out the murder, but the whole plan of how it's going to be done is executed by Lady Macbeth.
Yeah,
she's the
she
one.
has the body, basically.
Yeah, she's the one who gets everybody drunk,
right.
so that they'll all be.
She's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
how y'all doing?"
Yeah. Here, have some wassail and be. Or wassail, as some people pronounce it, and just blackout drunk. And then Macbeth is the one to, of course, carry it out. But for a soldier, he is not a very good killer.
Right.
Because he is immediately riddled with guilt.
Right.
While when, he's on the battlefield.
Killing
Oh,
everybody all
look,
the time.
hello, stab, stab, stab.
Right. I guess it might be a little different killing like a nameless opponent soldier than the king.
Yeah. And also, if they are cousins,
Right.
literally
That's family.
the
right.
family,
Uh-huh.
and you're thinking, okay,
Right. That's no cousin.
that's not our cousin. But the moment he comes back, Lady Macbeth is the one to berate him for having a white heart.
Right. She's like, "Why do you feel bad now?"
Yeah, you planted this. You planned this. You wanted this. Why the hell are you acting like, oh my God, what did I do? I shouldn't have done that. She literally says, okay, you should have left those daggers there, so maybe then you would have felt a little better.
Right.
But also, he's having problems with his own faith. which also ties in the trope of the moment you commit a deadly sin, you can no longer, access that part of you that is holy.
Spiritual, yeah.
Yeah, which is it's
Makes
not only
sense.
in in Christian religions, but
It's a lot.
yeah, even in the ancient times.
It's like just taints your soul.
Yeah,
So was killing the guards a smart cover-up or a huge mistake?
I'd say it was a huge mistake
Yeah.
for one reason. Macduff, when he finds out about the murder of the guards, he goes, "Wherefore did you so?" And you're like, oh, so they're not as dumb as we might think.
Right.
They are actually like, we could have interrogated them. We'd have found out. Maybe they saw something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they fought with the bloody man. But that's not how it works, sadly.
So do you think if the guards did live, who do you think could have been blamed for the death? Because Macduff still would have found King Duncan's body, right? Or did they have a different plan to dispose of the body?
Probably, but at the same time, the moment that the murder is discovered, there's a permeation in the air of something.
Yeah, something's afoot.
Something's up.
Yeah.
It's not right. And you're thinking,
Dun dun dun.
and you're thinking, okay, if they talked, would they be believed or would they be beat up? I mean, those are violent times. They're just fresh out of a war and holding back an invasion. The king is dead, probably killed by his own guards. So the only thing possible at the time would have been to just execute them.
Right.
But they would have still interrogated them to find out if
before.
it's true. Or if they were...
It could have been like a witch's hunt. They could have been tortured until they false admitted it.
Yeah, and they could have interrogated them and asked them, were you paid by Malcolm? Were you paid by Donalbain? Malcolm's more the credible, overlord payer, organ grinder, because he's the new heir. So
Right.
de facto, new heir, probably the killer. Which, of course, Malcolm does sense. That's why he immediately doesn't go and try to figure out what the hell is happening. He knows something is up. He knows something is wrong. The only safest way is to run away and make sure that at least his brother is safe.
Mm-hmm.
But also he's left with the scar of the fact that his family is
Now broken.
not only broken but gone.
Right.
We don't really know what happens to Donalbain after he runs away to Ireland.
Right.
So he might be the only one left.
In my research, it was it said like Macduff is in England.
Macduff is in England by the time that people realize that Macbeth is
An ass.
an ass and it is insane.
So this will go into the last question. Do you think Lady Macbeth's plan was actually flawed from the start? Do you think there was ever even a scenario where they even could have gotten away with it, or do you think that?
There was a scenario. It's just the person who messed up was Macbeth because he got into his head. And because they had to do this quick smearing of blood and also the crying out of murder and laughter, you realize that, okay,
You snitched on yourself.
Macbeth, you messed up. Because if she did it, she was like, see, my hands are as red as yours. Snap out of it.
Right.
We need to make this as convincing as possible. So the plan was only flawed by the executioner of it.
Womp womp womp. So now Macbeth is king, but instead of feeling secure, he's actually more afraid than ever. He can't stop thinking about the witch's prophecy, especially the part about Banquo's descendants becoming kings. Even though Macbeth has the crown, he's worried that he won't keep it. So instead of just enjoying his power, he starts acting out of fear and paranoia. He's trying to control the future, but Macbeth secretly hires murderers to kill Banquo and his sons, Fleance. Oh no, his son Fleance. At the same time, Lady Macbeth starts to notice that something is off. Macbeth has changed. He's more distant and doesn't confide in her anymore. He hints that he has a plan, but he won't tell her what it is. Their relationship starts to shift, and she's no longer fully in control like she was before. Then the murderers carry out the attack. They manage to kill Banquo, but Fleance escapes. That's a big problem for Macbeth because it means the prophecy can still come true. Later at a royal feast, Macbeth suddenly sees Banquo's ghost sitting in the chair. No one else can see it, only him. He completely loses control and starts acting out of fear, which confuses and alarms all the guests. Lady Macbeth tries to smooth things over and make excuses for his behaviors, but it doesn't really work. At this point, people are starting to question whether Macbeth is stable enough to be the king. The witches decide they're going to trick him even more by giving him misleading prophecies that will give him false confidence. Meanwhile, some of the Scottish nobles like Lennox are being suspected that Macbeth is behind Banquo's murder, and possibly Duncan's too. On top of that, Macduff joins Malcom. Together, they start raising an army to challenge Macbeth and take back the throne. So, is Macbeth more dangerous now than he was before becoming king?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's because the seeds of paranoia that were sown by the witches and the murder of Duncan have become so apparent that he has been delusional. Also, he hasn't slept.
Yeah.
And if the brain doesn't get at least 72 hours of sleep, we do start going insane because our brain doesn't have the chance to reset and rest. And therefore, we are losing the cognitive functions that usually allow us to be, well, sane.
Right.
Surprise, surprise.
Honestly, yeah, I think the longest I've ever probably gone without sleep is a solid 36 hours. I was gonna pull an all-nighter tonight, but I was like, you know what? Let me take a nap. I took like a 4-hour nap. Woke up at 5. I was like, all right, I'm good. But yeah, it's too much. So I can only imagine him. He's been sleepless for like weeks on weeks into months. And then at this point, I don't know if it's been a year yet. No, I think it's just been.
It might have been a year by now.
Yeah. So poor guy.
And I mean, also, Banquo, he could have imprisoned him. He didn't have to kill him.
Right.
So that just shows the lack of critical thinking. It's gone.
Right. And I think they're kind of like taking an eye for an eye at that point too.
Yeah. He's overstimulated. He's on edge. And the paranoia is really getting to him.
Honestly.
Yeah. Which could be a sign of schizophrenia. Could be. Then again, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know.
Right. I'm a theater major.
Yeah. All I know is how to pretend to be people. And
I could pretend to be a psychologist.
I mean, if you ever come to the UIC theater building, you will know that there is no normal person there.
Right.
And I mean that in the kindest of way because there's no such thing as normal. And also, we are right next to the College of Psychology, so I think UIC is sending us a message.
Exactly. They say, just in case, we put it very close for you guys.
Yeah. Just in case. The food there is good though.
So then going off of the this additional witch scene, do you think that they're still influencing him, or do you think this is just all him still?
Oh, it's all him still. Because at this point, they just do what he wants. Because they could have given him a whole new prophecy not to worry about. And they give him the offer, do you want to hear what's going to happen to you from us or from our masters?
Right.
And he says, bring them forth, give me the masters. And the masters are not giving him any ominous, dark messages. They're just telling him, yeah, you'll be king, and you won't be killed by any person who is of woman born. And, he's just trying to make sure that he, as king, is going to succeed, that he's going to remain a ruler of Scotland.
Right, trying to hold on to that power.
Which, yeah, and he really didn't need to. I mean, he started out as a good king. He was kind to his thanes, even though he had killed the previous leader.
But who hasn't done that to get, to get a little ahead back then?
he only really becomes a tyrant after Banquo dies. Because he sees enemies everywhere. Even his wife, in some way, is an enemy to him. That's why he keeps away from her, at least in my opinion.
Because she's not, from where I see, she's no longer as supportive anymore. Because I think she's kind of like, not over it, but like over it. I think she's over it.
I mean, moment. Sorry for interrupting.
No, go for it.
No, the moment she. God, I say moment a lot. The moment the plan to kill Banquo is, created, set in stone, she asks, at least in our version of Macbeth, she asks Seaton, what is up with Banquo? Why? What's happening? And he goes, it has been discussed, but I can't discuss it with you. And she's the damn queen.
Right. Like,
so you kind of have to
Right.
answer
When I
to a
say
higher
something.
authority. Oh, well.
So talking about the banquet,
Mm-hmm.
if you were a guest at that feast, would you start suspecting Macbeth?
I would, because the way he acts is not something that's normal, at least for those
Right.
times.
An unguilty person would do.
Yeah. I mean, the one beautiful thing that Shakespeare does is he brings attention to mental health in a lot of ways. Macbeth can be treated as a view on schizophrenia.
Hamlet can be treated on a view of depression.
And King Lear, dementia. And all three of those afflictions in those days they called mad.
Right, just crazy, yeah.
If you were depressed, you were mad. If you were schizophrenic, you were mad. Then again, they didn't have any
technical
terms, nor the knowledge.
Even though Shakespeare invented what, like 4,000 words?
Oh yeah. But none of them were afflictions that were known. I mean, technically, depression was called a deep melancholy.
Melancholy, yeah.
Which is basically Edgar Allan Poe.
Right.
All the way through. Oh yeah, The Telltale Heart. God, I love that one. It's so crazy.
Right. I have the privilege of being like an extra in the feast scene, and
Yes, you
it is
do.
definitely fun reacting to Macbeth going crazy in that scene. Because I'm not. Wait, no, that's gonna spoiler.
You know what?
I'm gonna leave it at that.
I have one question for you. Since you are a guest at the banquet, what is going through your head as you see him basically draw a knife at thin air, and do you? It's like,
So
do you feel safe as a Thane, a lady of the court?
So the things that I asked the people next to me, I'm like, at first, before he pulls out the knife, and he starts acting crazy. I'm like, does this always happen? I'm like, is he always doing this? Like, is this normal? This is in my head. I'm like, this is my first time coming to dinner, and I'm like, so is this normal? And then when he pulls out the knife, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is not normal. Okay.
Yeah, and Lady Macbeth is trying her best to calm everyone down, and she literally berates him for the way he's acting. Like, you want to be king, you want them to respect you, start acting like a man.
It was funny.
And whatever that means.
I made, during rehearsal, Angel Break character during that scene, because when his character Macbeth like snaps out of it and starts talking to the guest at the dinner table, he's like, oh, my bad, I don't know what got over me.
Yeah.
I like look at him and I go, and then he like looked at me like dead in the eye when I did that. I was like, and then he just like, I was like, my bad, okay, let me not do that.
Hopefully this isn't much of a spoiler, but there will be a scene where he is on the balcony, and yesterday when we had our full designer run,
it was honestly so good.
Oh yeah, everyone was doing such an incredible job. I mean, and I'm not. Here's the thing: when I compliment out of truth.
Right, I'm not just yucking someone's.
Yeah, like, oh my God, you were so good. You were awesome. God, that person was awful.
Right, I always stay quiet if I don't have no nice words to say.
Yeah, no, but the way that everyone is handling the language, the emotions, the objectives, it's honestly fascinating, and it's a great way to learn.
Right.
Because you see what other people bring to the character, and it's just so fascinating to watch. Because you see all those little micro expressions, the thoughts behind the eyes, all the physicality that goes into it. And then you're thinking, and people say that this isn't a job, it's a hobby.
Right. I'm like, that's my favorite part about like my character is I kind of just get to soak in and react. That's what I was talking to Jason about, the text analysis director, the text and voice. Jason, because he was asking me, he was like, so what else do you like need to go over? I was like, no, I don't think I need to do anything. I think my job is like just kind of listening and reacting. So as long as everybody else is doing their job and got a handle on the language, I should be okay.
I mean, the moment you listen to what other people are saying, whether you understand the words or not, even though you should, because you've had rehearsals,
right, Dev.
It's easier to react without trying to play the emotion.
No, literally.
Because you just naturally react to, oh my God, my dad's dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Poor dad.
well.
So to get back onto the story.
Yes, indeed.
Macbeth has completely changed. He's no longer just ambitious. He's become a full-on tyrant, driven by fear, but also this false sense of confidence. He goes back to the witches, basically demanding answers about his future. This time, they show him a series of visions. The first is an armed head, which warns him to beware of Macduff. The second is a bloody child, who tells him that no one born of woman can harm him. The third is a crowned child holding a tree, saying that Macbeth will be safe until Birnam Wood moves to Dunsinane. Because of these visions, Macbeth starts to feel invincible. He thinks he's untouchable even though the prophecies are actually misleading. Then the witches show him another vision, a line of kings descended from Banquo, which confirms that Banquo's family will still take the throne someday. That really shakes him. Even though he feels powerful, he's still paranoid and angry. So, in response, he orders something especially brutal: the murder of Macduff's wife and children. They're killed, and it really shows how far Macbeth has fallen into cruelty. Meanwhile, Malcom is testing Macduff. He pretends to be a terrible, unfit ruler just to see if Macduff is truly loyal or not. At first, it seems convincing. When Macduff proves that he genuinely cares about Scotland and not just power, Malcom reveals he was lying. Right after that, a messenger arrives with devastating news. Macduff's entire family has been murdered. Macduff is completely crushed by this, but instead of giving up, he turns that grief into determination and vows to revenge on Macbeth. Are these visions the witches show Macbeth clever warnings or clever misleading traps?
Warnings. Because
he's trapping himself.
he's trapping himself. What they're telling him is not something that was set in stone. They're telling him what he wants to hear. Literally, the first apparition goes, "Seek to know no more." And the witches repeat the same thing. And, yeah, please, well. And it's just so interesting to observe how there is a yearning for knowledge, but also wanting to hear what that person wants to hear.
Right. That's
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like anytime somebody comes to me, I'm a honest person at the core. Sometimes if it's like a detriment to me, even like when I should be a little quiet, I'm a little too honest. But sometimes when friends come with me like to advice,
it's if you're gonna feed into someone's delusions, they're never gonna get better.
Exactly. I don't do that.
They're gonna go down a deeper and deeper hole until you're like, okay, I tried to help you, but if I did, you'd get angry with me.
Right.
You just have to walk around a lot of people and just try to help them in as best as you can, but also making sure that you take care of yourself.
So I always give them literally both of the options each time. Like the last piece of advice I just gave, I won't spill nobody's tea, but the advice I gave, I was like, what I would tell you is listen to your heart.
Yeah.
But I think that's stupid, and you should listen to your gut, because anytime it was about like relationships and stuff. Because anytime when it's about that, I think that is the last thing you should kind of listen to, especially from experience. Your gut usually knows like if it's time to leave or if it's time to stay. Yeah. But your heart will always want to stay. So that's why I was like, I would say listen to your heart, but that's not me. You got to listen to your gut.
The one beautiful thing I took out of therapy, shocker, a theater kid in therapy.
Right. I need to sign up ASAP.
Was that, yes, if you're in a relationship, give as much of yourself as you can to it, but don't forget about yourself. Take care of yourself. If the relationship is not working for you, and if there is no way that there's anything that's going to change, do what's best for you. And if it's leaving, try to leave on good terms.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, is Malcom smart for testing Macduff, or do you think it could have backfired?
How to answer this without it sounding like a self-indulgent plastic praise?
You're Malcom. Why not?
Oh yeah, I know. I've spent a lovely time with this.
You can
character.
answer this as Malcom if you want.
Oh no. It's funny because Malcom is not that different from me in a few aspects, and it's the fact that he is not only a self-deprecator, but he's also an overthinker. But that helps him in a lot of ways. So
right, it's analytical.
Yeah, and the one thing that a lot of people omit is the fact that those tests that he's putting on Macduff are tests that he's done before.
Right.
Because he literally says, devilish Macbeth by many of these strains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over credulous haste, which is him saying he sent spies and assassins who wanted to help me regain the country, but in reality, they wanted to kill me. So, therefore, his trust, plus the PTSD he has from both the war that he was in and the murder of his father and the downfall of his country. He can't be a ruler who's
self-indulged.
Yeah, I have this whole thing that during that whole big monologue where he begs Macduff's forgiveness for the way he was acting, this is the moment where we lose Malcom as an individual, who he is.
Right.
And we are given Malcom the leader.
Right. Because he sees the role that he has to put himself
he
into.
He becomes king reluctantly.
Right.
He knows he has flaws. And that whole test is
He's just a boy.
Yeah, no, the whole test is divided into two parts. The first test is if Macduff is a spy.
Right.
And the moment Macduff has his whole first spiel about Scotland and how it's in danger, he knows, okay, you're not a spy, but will you follow me?
Right.
And so he regurgitates a practice that he's done on other people, because it's also his way of scaring off potential assassins, thinking, okay, if he's this bad, thank God for Macbeth.
Right, huh?
He literally says the poor estate esteem him as a lamb compared to my confineless harms, which is him saying, if Macbeth is nothing compared to me. Mind you, this kid is 16.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He has not experienced much of life.
He's literally just a boy.
and he's going, yeah, I'm so lustful. I'm so greedy. I'm gonna make sure that the world is ruled under my thumb. I will become an authoritarian, autocratic bastard, which is untrue. That whole test is his way of seeing even if he was an evil man, would his cousin, his Thane, still follow him?
Right.
And
because loyalty at least is above.
Yeah, but at the same time as he's testing the loyalty, he's testing the dedication of Macduff to Scotland, whether he'll choose to try and save his country or follow an equally evil king.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the moment Macduff...
Do you want to be with good cousin or bad cousin?
Yeah. The moment Macduff goes into his big speech about fit to govern, no, not to live, you get the sense that he is loyal first and foremost to his country, to the people, not to a certain division of politics.
Right.
That whole scene is a game of politics.
Right.
Because Macduff is coming in going, okay, we don't have time to cry in the shade and pick up some godforsaken berries off a tree.
I know, poor guy literally gets told his whole family's dead too, and he's like, nope, can't talk about that right now, let's go.
And that's also, because Malcom is also a very deeply compassionate individual. The moment Macduff starts to, in his way, break down, he goes, don't pull over your brows the hat of sorrow. You cannot allow yourself to wallow in this pity. We have a country to save. You came in here telling me we have a country to save. I've done my best.
Right.
You don't know the amount of deals and protractions I've had to make with the King of England in order to save my country. And there is probably some interest from the King of England into our country.
They have the tea tax.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the play, he announces the Thanes as earls. Earls were English nobles.
Earl T.
That too. I'm just kidding. That too. And you're thinking, okay, earls? You could have just called them lords.
Right.
Why earls? So you can sense that there will be some influence of England, which could also explain, besides the fact of the sacrifices that had to be made in order to restore the country to the order and the status quo,
Right, because it was all out of whack.
You also realize that there might be an underlying deal that would explain the cost a little bit better than before. So Malcolm's an incredibly intelligent character, but he's also green. And he realizes that. And he doubts himself a lot. I mean, the moment he can't, manipulate Macduff with lies, he goes into truth.
Right.
The moment he breaks off and goes, but I have none, the king becoming graces, and then starts listing them out. He doesn't list them out as like, oh, I don't have this, this, and that.
Right.
He takes his time. He understands what he's saying. The moment he realizes that he's showing his true self, he breaks it off and then immediately goes, I have no relish of them.
Right.
And you're thinking, God, this kid has a lot to deal with. And you're like, and at such a young age,
He's just a boy.
Yeah, no, you think, oh, they prepare them for it because in those times when you were 16, you were practically an
Already
adult.
A soldier, yeah.
And you're thinking, okay, this kid, he's got way more trauma than he needs. Yet he's still willing to help his country find deals and allies that would help. But at the same time, at what cost to him?
Right.
He thinks about his country, but again, he sacrifices who he is for the good of the status quo.
Do you think that there is a playwright out there that'll make like a not a part 2, but like a part 2? Because like with Titus Andronicus, there's the play Gary.
Yeah.
They should do something like that.
Well, you see, I think the beauty of Macbeth is the fact that it doesn't really need a sequel.
Right.
Because
it wraps up.
It wraps up and it's self-contained. Yes, we're curious what will happen to the kingdom after. But that's left up to our own imagination.
Right.
Yeah.
So, to get to the end of the story, this is where everything reaches its climax and finally falls apart for Macbeth. At the same time, Lady Macbeth is no longer the strong, controlled person she used to be. She's completely overwhelmed by guilt. She starts sleepwalking and keeps imagining that there's blood on her hands that she just can't wash off. It shows that she's mentally collapsing, which is a total contrast from how ruthless and confident she was earlier in the story. Meanwhile, the Scottish nobles have turned against Macbeth. They join Malcolm and Macduff and begin preparing an army to overthrow him. Back at his castle, though, Macbeth is still holding onto the witch's prophecies. He believes he's basically invincible because he thinks no one, born of woman, can harm him, and that Birnam Wood can never actually move. Birnam Wood is a forest that, if you guys who aren't familiar, Birnam Wood is a forest. So even as enemies are getting closer, he still feels strangely secure. Malcolm's army does something clever. They cut down branches from the trees in Birnam Wood and carry them as camouflage while they march towards the castle. From a distance, it looks like the forest itself is moving, which fulfills the prophecy in a way Macbeth didn't expect. Around this time, Macbeth is told that Lady Macbeth has died, most likely from suicide. Instead of reacting with strong emotion, he delivers this bleak speech about how life is meaningless, and he just goes on and on without purpose. It shows how empty and hopeless he becomes. Soon after that, Malcolm's forces attack the castle. Macbeth still fights fiercely, holding on to the belief that he can't be killed. Then he finally comes face to face with Macduff. At first, Macbeth is confident, but everything changes when Macduff reveals that he wasn't born a woman in the normal way. He was delivered by a C-section. Macbeth realizes the prophecies have tricked him. Even so, he refuses to back down and keeps fighting, but in the end, Macduff kills him. Macduff presents Macbeth's head, proving that the tyrant is gone. Malcolm is then crowned King of Scotland, and with that, order is finally restored after all the chaos. So, did Malcolm deserve the throne, or was he just the only survivor fit for the position?
Do you want the answer as I perceive it, or do you want the answer that we can that the Folger Shakespeare Library gives?
Both. Both.
So the first thing that I always wanted to establish that some people might not agree with is that Malcolm deeply does not want to be king.
I mean, that sounds like a whole lot of responsibility.
Well, it's less, I think, responsibility and more preparation.
Oh, like he's not ready for it yet?
No.
Yeah. I mean, he's a boy.
He is a boy.
What about Simba? He just couldn't wait to be king.
Well, Simba was an arrogant little kid. As much as I love that movie, though, did you know that it was based on Hamlet?
Was it? Oh, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Mufasa was
with the skull and everything.
Older Hamlet and everything. And God, I love Jeremy Irons as Scar. And see, if he ever played Claudius in Hamlet, I'd go and see it.
That would be good.
Yeah. But the way I always approach characters is I try to see what underlying sadness they have.
Right.
Which is, not all characters are sad, but there are moments where
trauma kicks in.
Trauma kicks in, even if we're not aware of it.
Right.
And
defense mechanisms are formed based on traumatic events from previously experiences.
Yeah, and his life is not cut out to be a happy one.
Right, at this point.
And so by the point where they all go, "Hail, King of Scotland, hail, hail," it's more of a solemn moment.
Right.
Because he deals with he is grateful for all the people who have fought to save the country. And he realizes that we got to get to business. We have to make sure that...
It kind of gives Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of England.
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth didn't want to be queen either. Historically, after she found out Mary wanted her to become heir, and she begged Mary not to make her queen.
Right.
You
could even see when they put the crown on, she was like, "Oh fuck." Well,
she inherited a state that was in so much turmoil because the Catholics and the Protestants were fighting against each other. Her whole job throughout her reign was to make sure everything is stable and that there's nothing going on.
Right.
The whole battle against the Spanish Armada, that was pure luck. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a strategic move. That was pure luck, no matter how much the movies showed that it wasn't.
It was the three weird sisters.
It was the three weird sisters like, you know what? We made one guy king. Let's make you queen. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter that you're...
Someone lit the black flame candle and they...
Yeah. They're like, your dad might have been bad. Let's make you a little better. But... And as for the Folger Shakespeare Library and a lot of other directors, Malcom is usually interpreted, he solemnly takes on the title of king.
Because who wouldn't want to be king?
Yeah, but he wants to be one.
Right.
But
not right now.
Yeah, but when when you read into the text, there is no indication that
he's excited about it, yeah.
The moment Duncan announces him as his heir, he says nothing.
Right.
Most of the time, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm so happy.
Right. Thank you so much."
Yeah. For example, in Denzel Washington's Macbeth.
Uh-huh.
First of all, Malcom in that incredible movie is basically erased. Half of his lines are given to Ross.
Oh, no.
And that whole scene between Macduff and Malcom is cut to when Ross comes in and he goes, "My countryman, yet I know him not," after Macduff asks him, "Who goes there?" Yeah. And you're thinking, okay, so this guy wants to be king. At least the way that it was played in Denzel Washington's lovely movie, it seemed like he wanted to be king. He doesn't even give his big speech. The big speech for Malcom is the
like
full...
a eulogy.
It's a eulogy, but also a full-on acceptance of something that has been thrust upon him reluctantly. Mm-hmm. Anyone else could have led the battle against Macbeth. Macbeth.
That's his
there
nickname.
We go.
That's his nickname, Macbeth.
Yeah. Macduff could have been king. He could have self-proclaimed himself king because he killed him. Defeated the tyrant.
Yeah.
No, he goes to the heir.
Because he is about his country.
Yeah. Malcom is grieving throughout this whole scene. Everyone is happy. He isn't.
That's why I kind of see it like as a eulogy.
It is a eulogy because there's that beautiful moment when he says, "Let's call back all our friends that have been banished, that escaped the watchful snares of tyranny." And then the moment that all of that is done and he accepts that, by the grace of God or whatever, he will be
Judge
king.
Judy.
He takes a moment to pause and think. So thanks to all, at once and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone. And there's so many ways you can play it. You could go, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone. But it's not like that.
Right.
It's an acceptance
Mm-hmm.
through mourning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's,
No,
nobody, the only person who was happy, and I don't even think he was happy, but yeah, the only person who was happy to be king was Macbeth, and then that was
short-lived.
right.
That was short-lived.
He was only happy to be king before he actually killed Duncan.
I'm gonna be king. Oh God.
Yeah, right.
Why did I do this?
All right, so everybody, that was the Tragedy of Macbeth by William Shakespeare. So we're at the part where we get to play one of my favorite games, Slash or Smash.
Ooh.
The rules are very simple. I will tell you an iconic horror character, and we will say whether we would slash or smash and why. So, you guys, I fell off from the vlog series. It's been a long month. I lost a job. It was midterms. It was a lot.
Wait, you lost a job?
Yeah, they fired me over text. My job. Literally, I worked
over text.
Yeah, I worked there for a year and a half. I was
God,
a
I'm so
swim
sorry.
teacher.
Genuinely, I'm really sorry about that.
Thank you. No worries. Everything. Anytime I've gotten fired from somewhere, something good really happens. Like afterwards, so I'm excited.
I mean, as long as you just go forward.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No sweat off my back.
Exactly.
So I am once spring break. Spring break, I believe, is the reset that I need. So once we come back from spring break, you will see these vlogs again. And to make up for last time, I'm gonna try to do 2 a week.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Right. So
no, genuinely, good luck.
Thanks. So round 1. So these are gonna be characters from the story of Macbeth. We're not going to do it because all of our friends are inside of the show, so I want to make this clear if y'all are listening. This isn't you we're talking about. We're talking about the character itself, like their traits. If we were to come across this kind of warrior, this kind of apparition, how it would make us feel internally, not necessarily your guys'
We are
interpretation.
talking about the literature characters,
Yes.
not the actual actors.
Yes. So, first up, we have Macbeth. Are we slashing or smashing?
I'd say slash.
Yeah.
Slash.
I don't like a wish-washy man.
Well,
I would also slash.
Well, you see, I like emotional men. That's the bisexuality coming through. But the way Macbeth acts. There we go. From the very beginning, is something that just makes you feel unappealed to the character. And I don't know. There's something about the aura, just when you read it off the page, that there's really something wrong.
No, right. Like I do not want to be near this guy if somebody...
I choose me.
Right. All right, so next we have Lady Macbeth.
Oh, smash.
Yeah, I'm smashing. I love her.
Smash.
Ride or die. That's a ride or die. I will always go for a ride or die. If you're down, I'm down. That's...
Well, she's ambitious. Incredibly intelligent.
Intelligent, yeah.
Knows what she wants, has goals, and is not... He's not this kind of damsel in distress of the 1960s and the sexism of the whole
like
thing.
I was gonna say, for a woman in that time period, she's one of the most powerful.
She is incredible, and also she's not as murderous as some people would make her out to be, like, making her into this kind of insane lunatic. She's not that. She is just someone who knows
what she wants.
Yeah.
Also gonna smash. So next we have the Weird Sisters. All 3 of them at the same time.
Yes. As much as I love the occult, take it however you want. No.
I'm also going to slash because most interpretations I've seen...
Oh, yeah, they're old hags.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
I mean, if you're into cougars, go for it.
Right,
but
not my type.
The way they're also portrayed is...
I mean, if they have money...
they're usually portrayed, more as women and more as these kind of...
Beings,
maybe... monstrous individuals. Then again, they're rarely called witches in the text.
It's the Weird Sisters.
Yeah. So, and you're like, okay, so where the hell did we get the whole witches thing
from? Right.
Yeah.
Shakespeare's synopsis.
Shakespeare.
So next we have Hecate.
Because of my love of Greek mythology, and because I watched Hercules, both the movie and the TV show. Smash.
Yeah, smash all the way. That's a god. Who wouldn't want to smash a god?
Well, Zeus. Zeus wouldn't. Zeus prefers them humans.
You know what? That's called a kink for them.
Trust me, if he was put on trial in today's day and age, he'd have more allegations.
Oh my god!
And would probably no, he'd be on the Epstein list. It wouldn't actually be the Epstein files. It would be the Zeus files.
It would be the Zeus files.
Good, Jesus Christ!
All right, last up on the list we have Macduff.
Strong man, knows what he wants. Smash.
Loyal.
Oh yeah, loyal, and
good fighter,
and lack of moral corruption.
Right. He has a nice head on their shoulders.
Oh yeah,
Smash too.
Yeah.
This one's a keeper.
Oh yeah. Now you see, if we were to do actors, and you said Malcolm, I would say Slash.
Nah.
Yes.
I know. I was gonna put you on here, but then I would have been like, "That's like, I don't know. You can't. Can you? I mean, you can't smash yourself, but it'd get too deep if you said slash yourself." I'd be like, "Oh, let me call somebody. Hold on."
Yeah, no. Trust me.
No,
when it comes to those things, my mind doesn't go there. And I don't know. I don't want to make this sound like some charitable eulogy or, promotion, but if someone is struggling, suicide is never an option.
No.
It causes more pain than it causes relief, sadly. I lost a friend during the beginning of this school year to suicide.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The signs were there, but I hope Anna's in a better place than she was.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the memories remain. So.
Yeah, and they'll stay.
Yeah. The good ones way more than the bad ones. There were no bad ones.
Right.
Anyway, sorry about that.
No worries. We are going to go ahead and skip. What time are we at? An hour? Yeah, we are going to skip the Crypt question this week, you guys, just for some time. Don't worry, it wasn't that good. That always works out. The last time
we can always put in one question.
Right. The last time I skipped the question,
you can always edit out my talking from time to time.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. No, that's the point. If it's not you, anytime I'm editing my podcast, the first thought that comes to my head is like, damn, I don't shut the hell up.
No. Your energy is very good. And also the fact a lot of people don't listen. I sometimes don't listen, but you do, and I envy that energy. And I'm being very genuine.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, I'd like to thank my guest, Simon Koszalka, for stopping by today. Spooky Simon, do you have anything to plug, like an Instagram or a show?
Oh, okay. So, I have an Instagram. I have two. One is Simon KOS 2006, and then Simon Koszalka Official. That's the actor page. It's run by my lovely friend Mark, who's been my sound editor and compadre for the past 3 years.
Nice.
And yeah, sometimes there's some self-indulgent little plastic pastiche story about my journey through the acting world. Oh,
why not? It's for the agents.
Yeah, it's for the agents. But having to write it out, as much as it is my memory and a way of reflecting on people I've worked with and met and how much I cherish and love them. In this day and age, a lot of things, because of social media, feel very plastic and fake. And you have that underlying worry in the back of your head, oh my God, they're going to think I'm this, and that. For example, when someone writes, forever grateful, that already sounds... Okay, this is going to be a niche reference, but Visco Girl.
Visco Girl?
Yeah. That's most of my social media. I also have a Facebook if anyone's still using that.
Right. I go on there for a Facebook market.
It's good. It's good, but other than that, no. I'm very not present
Do
that
you
much
know
on social media.
the show dates of the show where everyone could come watch you play Malcom?
Yes, and you as Angus. Don't
Yeah.
don't cancel yourself out. Don't
I'm
you
cute.
dare
Don't
do
worry, guys.
that.
I'm cute in there. Y'all can see me too.
Yeah. So we are going to be playing the Tragedy of Macbeth from April 11th to April 18th. We are not playing on Monday, so don't come.
Yeah.
And
a
the
day
tickets are available on the UIC theater page. Make sure to, if you are a UIC student, to select the UIC student or School of Theater and Music to get in for $5. And just come see the show. Come enjoy us. Come chat with us. Tell us if you liked it or if you didn't like it.
Right.
And just enjoy this whole post-apocalyptic new wave funk, well, not funk, punk
And
version
bring
of Macbeth.
Cash for concessions.
Yes, support concessions, support stage. If you want to know what stage is, just follow them on their Instagram account. Nothing like a free promotion.
Right, there you go. All right, and we're gonna link again in the Instagram post. We'll have Simon's Instagram linked in there for you guys, and then inside of the actual post, like on Spotify and YouTube and stuff, I'll make sure to have the link so people can buy tickets to the show.
Yes. Yes.
So again, thank you so much, and
Thank you for
all
having me.
Of course, not a problem.
This was my first podcast in years, and I enjoyed it.
It's so
Thank
fun.
you very much. Thank you.
So, you guys can go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you don't already. It's at She's in the Crypt, so you can see my vlog series Slash or Smash. I'd also like to thank UIC Radio for publishing this podcast, but most importantly, I'd like to thank you, the Crypt Keepers. Thank you for digging this grave with me today, but unfortunately, the graveyard is closed. So until next time, we'll leave this episode in the crypt. Farewell and bad dreams. All right, make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram at She's in the Crypt for updates about upcoming shows and upcoming guests. Follow UIC Radio at UIC Radio on Insta and subscribe to the UIC Radio YouTube channel so you won't miss a single episode every Friday. And you can check out the other shows on the network too. The podcast was written, created, and edited by Niomi Dylan Sass and published by UIC Radio. Music by Arthur Benson, the Friendly Ghost, and sound effects from epidemicsounds.com. If you can't get enough of She's in the Crypt, you can check out my weekly blog, Crypt Collections, every Saturday morning on the website uicradio.net and find me in the blog section. Bye!